Sounding great. The drums sounded awesome. The performances from you guys have been great. Sound pretty good.
I think the studio's great. Thank you, board, for the time and the privilege to record here. I'm glad it's almost over because I'm tired.
We're listening to the ring on the snare drum. And if you hear it,
you might get married to it because it's like a wedding ring.
Yeah, has a little bit of decay, like a little delay trail, reverb trail, all natural, organic. You like that ring on the snare, Justin?
Oh, that sounds killer.
John, what do you think of that ring on the snare?
Sounds great.
Red lights on. So my best 2 studio tips before you come into the studio: get all the pre-production work done first. Make sure you know all the parts to what you're going to do cold, forwards, backwards. Make sure you know everything is ready pre-production wise. My second tip would be to do your research on the studio and the engineer that you're working with, because you want to make sure you find a producer or an engineer who gets your vision for the music. That is key. They have to get it.
This bass is a Warwick thumb bass bolt-on because it's bolt-on gives you a little more crack to it, and then the strings are Warwick's. I guess they have some kind of coat on it, but it's their high beams with the coating. Going through a Mesa Boogie, the D800, and then the Bergantino 410. Running direct, just with just a bass and 2 amps.
My 2 top tips for a band that wants to come in and record would be for the band to really know their music as best as they can know their music. Tip number 2 is make sure that your gear is top notch, or at least doing what you want it to do, because sure, there's a lot of studio magic, but the source is everything. So make sure your gear is geared for what you want to sound like.
Well, that's the one that got them to be known. So you gotta like it for that fact that it got them on the map.
There's way better songs than that record.
There are.
Catalog was a fucking sweet song.
I actually have that on my phone.
Do you?
Pretty like that.
Yeah, that was that same thing.
They're talking prog music.
Prog, rock.
Not
now that singer.
not Prague in the Czech Republic. They're talking progressive
stories.
rock.
Yeah, that's a great type of player. You know, very rhythmic-y, a lot of like crazy run type guy. Pretty cool. Which
Everybody
there was
in that band
different
was good.
players.
Someone told me this a long time ago. When it comes to recording overheads, drums, what I do is I concentrate completely on the snare. So your left and your right images are perfectly matched, both sides. If they're the same distance away, you're not going to have phase issues.
So we're tracking some rhythm guitars, and I just want to show you what we're using. Mesa Boogie Mark V, absolute beast of a head. This is the 90-watt version, all tube. The cabinet I'm using is a Mesa Boogie 412, because everything sounds better through a 412, right, Justin?
That's right.
And that has vintage 30 speakers. It's my live rig too. I've been using Mesa Boogies a long time, but I really love the Mark V. And then also we're using this here. This is a Buddha Super Drive. This is the 80-watt. Buddha made the Super Drive in a 45 and a 30. But this here is the 80-watt. John really likes this one. This one has a really good crunch to it, good sound through a Bogner 212. Yeah, I'm stoked. We're getting some killer sounds.
Definitely know your music, know it inside and out. And secondly, which corollary of it, be flexible. Be flexible to go with the energy that you go into in the studio, whether you're changing something up.
Oh, it's about having fun. Going to the studio is basically your enjoyment, what you like to do. So have fun at it, you know? It's what we do, so just relax and make music.
I mean, my favorites have always been Danny Carey, Carter Beauford, Neil Peart, Tim Alexander. Those were like the four that I grew up on. But recently, I mean, Matt Halpern, Benny Greb, Chris Coleman,
Buddy Rich.
Steve Gadd.
Steve Gadd.
Oh, yeah.
Steve Gadd,
Oh,
Dave
yeah.
Weckl,
Yeah.
Dennis Chambers,
Dude,
Steve
Turn
Judd from
70.
Carnival,
Oh, okay, cool.
Jay Paustones from Tesseract,
That's
Chris
a-
Allison from Pliny,
That's a good list.
Troy Wright from Pliny.
Who's your favorite drummer, Dan?
My favorite Justin. What are you talking about?
My favorite drummers: Danny Carey, Carter Beauford, Neil Peart. You know who's a really badass drummer who plays like a lot of progressive jazz, but he's known as like this classic rock guy? Is Steve Smith. He's a badass.
He is a badass.
He's a badass.
No doubt about
I
it.
completely agree with that.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to say Gavin Harrison.
Yeah,
Gavin
Gavin Harrison would be on my list too.
You can't record that, man. I hate that shit.
Can't record what?
You gotta delete all that.